Hello!
We're gonna hang out for just a couple of minutes while we wait for some more people to join us. We had a false start with the live stream. I've had this issue where when I try to schedule a live stream on my laptop and then I try to kick it off on my phone, I can't find it again. So that's a bummer. But we have switched outfits. Nigel is the one who's wearing normal clothes now, kind of goth style. We got this at a place in London. What was it called? Like
Rafflesia?
Rafflesia, which is like the corpse lily, I think.
No.
What is it?
It's a huge, enormous parasitic flower that lives on the roots of trees in Indonesia.
Well, that is the name of the shop that we got this shirt, and we had to have it custom made because he's got such a...
It's got skulls on it.
Yeah, but he's got like a heroic-sized Dorito torso with these broad shoulders and stuff. It's awesome, but none of the shirts off the rack fit him, so we had to have this custom made for him.
Yeah.
Worth it.
And I wore it once, and then it shrank in the wash. Happily, I shrank over the ensuing couple of years as well, so...
You look fantastic.
Thank you, my passion.
And I am a Hershey's Kiss.
Kiss, Aaron, love.
Hold on, I gotta stand back a little bit so they can see how unflattering this is. But it's comfortable. It's like I've got an inflatable tube around me.
Yeah.
Like if I sit down, it's like I got an extra little pillow back there for my tush.
Melissa says, Happy Halloween, but it's typed like Torgo speaks. So
Torgo, yes!
Happy Halloween. The master would not approve.
Excellent.
You both shrunked.
Yes, it was a joint effort.
Hi, Wendy in the UK.
Hi again, Wendy. Hopefully you got an opportunity to sleep between the first one and this one. So we swapped. Now I'm the one that's in like a more proper costume and he's just goth. For me, and I think probably for Nigel too, it's kind of the hard thing for us for Halloween is what do we wear? Because we have a lot of stuff we could wear for Halloween. And I took this opportunity to go with like, okay, I'm wearing a metallic outfit, so I wore all of these multi-chrome eyeshadows and I made them into a rainbow. So I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. We got a fog machine going in here, so sorry if it's a little hazy. I can show you again towards the end. But I had a lot of fun doing that, and I kind of blended the green and the aqua and then purple in here back into violet. So I was like, I've got all these duochromes, multi-chromes, and metallics. I might as well make something fun out of it since I'm already very metallic and shiny.
Goes well with the hair and makeup, says Aaron.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm wearing Rachel by John Renaud. I want to make sure we're in spooky vision still, but that you can still kind of see us, so that's cool. And we are the kind of people that just organically had a smoke machine. So we broke it out for the second one, that's why it's a little hazy. And it looks extra spooky. My face hugger is still in play and all that stuff, so yay!
Got the bat lights and the pumpkin lights and the eyeball lights. And the crypt keeper still has his candle fluttering over there.
Yes. But now everything's more obscured. They're watching you with sinister intentions.
Found you. Now my computer is spinning, says Liz. Ah, boy. One of those situations, eh?
I have swapped beverages, so now we ordered, what did we get? We got some kind of Thai, no, we got,
Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern for lunch, and then, Mediterranean food, it's kind of healthy, and then we got, poke that's waiting downstairs for afterwards, but I got some Thai tea with it, with the delivery, and, Thai tea is pretty amazing. So, this is basically like heather candy, liquid heather candy, because it's so sweet. So I had to cut it with some Tito's vodka.
Melissa says, breaking out ravens and roses, Ambrose for the party I'm going to.
Yes. Oh, I just
says,
noticed.
Gorgeous makeup, Heather. You are so awesome.
Thank you so much.
I've been saying that for years. And my hair's sticking up at the back.
We have this little thing in the corner. I'm trying to make sure that that's not in the shot. There we go.
What, where
the
clip?
The little clip that holds this to the stand.
That makes it look like a spooky, fuzzy little thing in the corner of the screen. Sweetened condensed milk is yum in coffee. I'm jealous. Oh, definitely, Aaron. I could just drink that stuff straight.
It is. It's like delicious liquid candy. So we had to think about what we were gonna do in this live stream because we only had the first one and the material for that one planned. So I think in this one we're going to poll you guys a lot. So this one's probably gonna be a little bit more interactive. We came up with some questions, like answering the real questions about Halloween, like Freddy versus Jason. Discuss. So hold your thoughts on that though, because we're gonna ask you like in little segments.
Another Wendy says, "Love you, Sister Wiggs."
Yes!
Thank you, Wendy.
Love you right back, and it's so nice to be able to share our favorite holiday with you guys. I mean, I like Christmas too. I do. I mean, eggnog and all that stuff. It's fantastic, and I love because I was a church musician for a bajillion years. I actually love Christmas because the church I used to work at was like an Episcopalian church, so we would do like English madrigals at Christmas. I like one of the ladies at the church I used to work at in Ohio. She made me like a medieval outfit. Like the dress is velvet and it's beautiful. It no longer fits me, so I'm going to have somebody alter it. But I mean, fully lined. And she just gifted it to me. You know, this was when I was in my 20s because I was an intern and I worked at this church as a musician. And she just gave it to me so that way I could be in this madrigal group. So, but we love this kind of stuff. We love Halloween, and maybe that's why that is my favorite memory of Christmas. Is just because I love singing and I really like dressing up in costumes. Costumes plus Christmas. Oh, that should be a thing for everybody. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, 2 years running, I was the Students Against Drunk Driving Grim Reaper from my old high school.
Is that a Christmas thing?
It wasn't a Christmas thing, but I got to dress up.
I was about to say,
I got to dress up, carry a scythe into my old high school, and say things like, "So and so, I have come for your mortal soul." No kids drunk and drove that prom weekend, either of them.
Well done. High five.
Thank you, my treasure.
Oh, that was the highest of fives. So we also found some more stories to tell, and we have a treat for you. I don't know what I could sing because like I keep thinking about it and like nothing really comes to mind. I don't want to sing like opera at you guys because really that works best when there are other musicians involved. You know, it helps me stay in tune too when there are other musicians involved. But we have karaoke for Monster Mash because Nigel does a very good Boris Karloff impersonation, and it is hilarious. Just hilarious. It is really, 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 really good. Am I embarrassing you?
No.
Okay, good.
Melissa says Monster Mash sing along, and LS says this could be the most fun Halloween thanks to your live stream.
Yay! Yes, and if you hear the doorbell ring, my neighborhood is still doing trick or treat. I live in Georgia. You know the situation. And so, you know, I wish we could. I love trick or treat. I love seeing the little kids dress up. Like, this is part of the reason why I have this costume. But you know, we're not going to be answering the door just because most of these kids. It's Halloween. It's a perfect time to wear masks.
And like, no one is wearing masks.
Oh, facepalm. It's yeah, so we set something out for them, little like sticker books, but we're not going to be answering the door for anybody. But just know trick or treat is going on outside. But that's exactly why I am so happy that we get to do this again. And it was a great idea for you guys
to suggest it doing later. To do another one later. Because
it would have been super depressing to have all this going on and know that, you know, we're basically shut-ins, womp womp, and, you know, it's nice to be able to share and hang out still. And Nigel did look through, we just got this in the mail today.
Yeah, this was the thing. Heather ordered this book specifically for the live stream this morning, and it arrived just in time to be too late.
Yeah.
But the version we got as a placeholder was only the first volume. This is all three in one tome.
So yeah, he had.
Well, I found some more stories.
He had a lot more to choose from this time around, so that's gonna be really cool. I've got hair in my mouth. That's the problem with lip gloss and wigs, you know? Like, it's like no matter how well you think everything is put together, all it takes is one little mean hair to just get stuck in the gloss. And it's over. Then you have to have that awkward moment where you're like, where is it? Where is it? Ah! And you're like tasting it and it starts to drive you nuts, or is this just me and I'm just a crazy person? This could also be true.
That used to happen when I had long hair as well.
Oh, he keeps telling me about he used to have long hair.
2 feet long. Right down to here.
I'm so jealous.
Wavy, coppery, gorgeous and lush.
See, I'm jealous. Like, he has more hair than me now, right? And he's, what, 7 years older?
Six and a bit.
6 and a bit years older. And, boy, that vodka is already starting to kick in. I'm a supreme lightweight. I was not drinking before this, at least since this morning. And, wow. Anyway, my hair has never been that long. The longest my hair ever got was about shoulder length, and that's because my bio hair was really super naturally curly. So as soon, I mean, it was basically like Cocker Spaniel hair, or like Shirley Temple hair, because like as soon as it would get this length, it just stopped growing because it would just get curlier instead of getting longer. Yeah, so.
Susan Blair says, always enjoy listening to you. Thank you, Susan. And Barbara Waite says, happy Halloween, y'all.
Yes, happy Halloween to you too. Okay.
Kathleen says, dang, your eyes are kicking.
Oh, thank you. That took about an hour, but it was super fun because there was like metallic stuff everywhere. It was like a gay nightclub all on my makeup bureau. It was fantastic. I think I want to start this session by asking you guys the first in a series of questions we want to ask you about your opinions about Halloween stuff. Like, you know, who would win this battle, right? So, Freddy or Jason?
Good question.
What, I mean,
There was
where do you stand?
Because there was a movie, and it was left sort of unanswered. I know who I would pick.
Well, go ahead and tell.
I was going to say Freddy.
Okay, why?
Basically, because he can disappear into the dream dimension, and Jason is stuck in the real world.
Yeah, he's very much Inception man.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that Freddy is campy.
Yeah.
He's way campier than Jason. Though in some movies, Jason's pretty camp too.
Hi, CC.
But I mean, hello, happy Halloween, everybody who's just joining us. But yeah, I love some of the cheesy one-liners. I've never met a pun I didn't like. I mean, in fact, the more groan-inducing it is, the more I tend to like it. I'm very into anti-humor, like Tim and Eric and stuff like that. And in fact, I remember when that stuff first came out, because I'm a little older, I think, than some of the people that show was geared towards. I remember telling all my friends, I'm like, this show is fantastic. And everyone's like, that's so stupid. And this is supposed to be a cartoon network called the Cartoon Network. And there shouldn't be live action stuff on there. But I'm glad there is, because sometimes it's intriguing.
All right.
But yeah, so bring bad puns. Freddy for the win for me too.
Yeah, we've got a couple votes for Jason, but I think Freddy's winning out. Oh yeah, but then I love Robert Englund. I think that's his name. I met Robert Englund at a convention in Exeter. I took my friend Gary and his sons, who are my godsons, up to this convention. I think Gary dressed as Wolverine. I dressed as Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget because I can do the voice.
He had the cat.
I had the cat and the big armored gauntlets and everything. And the boys were just sort of superhero-y type characters. I can't remember who they were, but I got to meet Robert Englund. And he's a lovely gentleman. He's absolutely enthusiastic and friendly as all get out, and sparkling blue eyes that just light up when he talks about his projects. He's an utter delight.
Oh, yay! Oh, I love hearing that kind of stuff.
Oh, yes.
So what's the consensus seem to be?
We've got 3 votes for Jason, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for Freddy. So, not counting our votes, then
Right.
Freddy is still pulling ahead, I'm afraid.
All right, well.
And another for Freddy.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to say in this battle, Freddy wins. Yay! All right.
You're the girl of my dreams.
Thank you. I don't know if it means the same thing when you say it that way though. like saying sweet nothings into somebody's ear and then just going, "You're the girl of my dreams."
How sweet, fresh meat.
Okay, that would be legit creepy.
Thank you.
Make sure when you're sitting back there, honey, you project.
Right.
Because I don't know how
Well, I'm
sensitive
trying
this mic
to.
is. Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I have the torso and the diaphragm power to project.
You looked magnificent. There's like a little delay on the screen, and I had to point it out to him because it's like he's like a carving on a Grecian urn or something. It's fantastic. All right, I think I have one more poll type question for you before I switch seats with Nigel and we let him tell his first spooky story. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Jafar or Maleficent? Who do you think is scarier? I mean, they both lost in the end, so... But if you had to go up against one of these two, who would you feel the most intimidated by? Who would win that fight?
I'd probably be more freaked out by Maleficent. Because, you know, bit of mind control, yeah, okay.
She turns
Versus
into a dragon that breathes green fire.
Gigantic fire-belching dragon.
Yeah, green fire.
Yeah, see?
And she's a pretty badass looking dragon. Like, she's pretty fierce. But Jafar has a fierce beard.
3 for Maleficent, 1 for Jafar so far.
Yeah. I mean, they're both kind of magic and, like, dark magic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like reptiles. That's not exactly a secret. I do like reptiles, but there are some reptiles I don't want to get close to, and a gigantic fire-belching dragon is one of those.
Yeah.
Except maybe Granomir. Granomir's basically cool.
Yeah, but that's a different universe.
That's a different universe.
So what's everybody saying? Who's the scariest?
So far, Maleficent is winning. Ha 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 ha, Komodo. Yes, I like Komodo dragons. I'm never going to pet one. They're nifty, especially from a distance.
Yes.
Exactly. The woman always, says Bama Huntress.
Right on. Yes.
I maintain a politic silence.
Never underestimate women. Like, they will find interesting ways, like, to do that sort of thing. I agree, because Jafar would probably be distracted by Jasmine, whereas Maleficent would just be like, I hate all of you. Like...
And she'd look down her nose while she was saying it.
Yeah. No, she seems single-minded in her pursuit of messing with that king and queen. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You ready to swap seats?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Okay. Skulls!
Do you need your water?
Yes, thank you, my passion. Okay, folks, well, here's the deal. We've got... Twist that a bit. Okay.
I have the biggest fupa right now.
Okay.
I mean, look at the way this thing is shaped.
Having fun with that. Okay. I've got one more story for my Ghosts of Devon from my hometown. We're saving that for later. Actually, it's a series of stories in a section, but we got this. Scary stories to read, to tell in the dark. The Collected Edition by Alvin Schwartz. And, yes. Shall we begin? Are you seated comfortably? Then we'll begin. This story is called A Weird Blue Light. Okay. Just want to make sure I've got the...
You're now in spooky vision.
You've got beer and nachos? Oh, lucky!
I don't know. I have Thai tea and vodka. I'm pretty stoked about that. So we're partying together.
Yes.
Woo!
Alrighty. A Weird Blue Light. Late one night in October 1864, a Confederate blockade runner slipped by some Union gunboats at the entrance to Galveston Bay in Texas and made it safely to port with its cargo of food and other necessities. Lewis Billings, the master of the small vessel, was getting ready to weigh anchor when he was startled by a shriek from one of the crew. "A strange old-fashioned schooner with a big black flag was rushing down at us," Billings said later. "She was afire with some sort of weird pale blue light that lighted up every nook and cranny of her. The crew was pulling at the ropes and doing other work, and they paid us no attention, didn't even glance our way. They all had ghastly, bleeding wounds, but their faces and eyes were those of dead men. The man who had shrieked had fallen to his knees, his teeth chattering as he gasped out a prayer. Overcoming my own terror that was chilling me to the very marrow of my bones, I rushed forward, shouting to the others as I ran. Suddenly, the schooner vanished before my eyes. Now, some say that it was the ghost of Jean Lafitte's pirate ship, the Pride, that sank off Galveston Island in 1821 or 1822. She was seen again in 1892 in the same waters with the same crew. There's that one. Good stuff. Oh, thank you.
Well, yes.
Well, we finally found a pirate ghost story, and I've taken my pirate costume off. Oh,
But you
well.
could still, but you know what? You did mainly a Dracula impersonation while you were in the pirate costume, so I think it's fair game. We're already crossing streams prolifically here.
Don't cross the streams.
But now's your chance to talk like a pirate.
Proper job made, proper job.
Arr!
Avast. By the way, I may have mentioned this once or before in other streams, but whenever you hear someone saying R, it's basically West Country dialect term that means yes. So they're basically saying, yeah.
It's not as exciting as the pirate movies make it sound.
No, we're just going, yeah! Basically. R. Got any fun comments?
Let's see. Let's see. Tim and Ryan's family say, Happy Halloween, going to trick or treat with my kiddos. Yay, have fun and stay safe.
Yes, indeedy.
Oh, and Dory says, oh, Heather, you look beautiful. Chalk kiss and love Nigel's shirt. Yay!
Thank you, Dory.
Hooray.
You've got the perfect scary story voice. Thank you.
Ella said she was going to close her eyes for the story. Did that enhance it? Because he has a great voice for this stuff. You could see how we were able to sustain a relationship over the phone, right?
We had a magnificent full moon last night, says Ginger Rose. And happy Halloween, Diane.
Yes.
I think, it faded out pretty quickly. Totally nailed it with a Texan accent. Yeah, thank you. Your look is very scary, dude. I get that a lot. That's why I was single for so many years. Fortunately, Heather's into creepy stuff, so...
Yeah.
So that worked out. You got any other poll type questions? We can do another poll?
If we're ready. Ooh, I'll let you do this one because I know that you like these franchises.
Okay, this is another creepy, horrible thing. So here we go, folks. Alien or Predator? You decide.
Who is the scariest?
Alien or Predator?
What's your vote?
Well, I'm gonna, for sheer horror, the Alien wins in an outright battle. Yeah, that's hard to call because you never see the Predators win in anything. In all the movies that have Predator in them, the Predator always dies. It's, you notice that?
Yeah.
They always die. I like them. They're cool. But when it comes down to it, the Yautja just don't deliver in the end.
The xenomorphs have green acid blood.
Yes, true.
So I'm going to give it to the aliens.
Okay.
They have a natural advantage over the predators. Green acid blood.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I read a fantastic article, or it was a video on YouTube. I think it was a video that linked to an article or an article that linked to a video. Basically, it said the aliens are made of Teflon.
Okay.
And they figure that out because the most highly corrosive acid we know of these days are fluorine-based. And the FL in Teflon stands for fluorine, and it's immune to fluoronic acids. And the aliens don't dissolve themselves,
Yeah.
so they've theorized that they're made of a naturally occurring Teflon.
That's actually very strange that someone would obsess about it that much to actually come up with that sort of hypothesis, but I'm very stoked that they did, and I think that that's actually a pretty plausible explanation for why they don't corrode from the inside.
Yeah, yeah. They even did tests with the fluoronic acids on Teflon and you know.
Geeking out on Halloween.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's I forget what channel it was or what website it was, but they basically look at sci-fi and try to accent the sci in the sci-fi.
Barbara says, if it's hot enough, you can fry an egg on an alien. Because they're Teflon.
Yes! And it'll slide right off.
Yes.
Toss all the Teflon pans.
That's it.
Stat. Note to self.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think just about everybody's in agreement that Alien wins.
Alien wins for sheer outright horror and most likely in a straight up fight too. I mean, like I said, gotta love, gotta respect the Yautja, but the Predators they just don't cut it. They die in all their own movies, for Pete's sake.
Let's see what else we got here.
Okay.
All right, so marking that one down. I don't know why I'm even keeping track of this, but maybe I'll just like do a recap towards the end. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. I don't know if any of you guys are really into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And you know what? I don't even want to make this super heteronormative. So let's just say, let's make it kind of like a three-way choice. Angel, Spike, or Willow. Who do you think is the most intimidating of the bunch? Because I realized that by setting up a dichotomy of Spike and Angel, I'm basically saying just Buffy's love interests matter, and I just want to make this open to whoever characters. I'm overthinking this like whoa, but I like Willow, so we'll just throw her in the mix too. So it's not such a sausage party.
Okay.
So, let's see. I don't know. I think I would actually vote for Willow being the scariest if I were gonna choose.
Well, if she went dark, definitely.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because she's basically like Dark Phoenix, you know, from the X-Men. She's very much like a better version of how they've interpreted that than the movies. But it's very much like that, and she could have destroyed the whole world. I don't think either. Well, no, Angel totally had the ability to destroy a whole bunch of stuff. When he went dark too. Well, that Hellmouth is just no good for those characters.
No. No, so far Willow is essentially
yeah. Plus she's brilliant, and
winning,
bring that up too. So
winning hand down, but it said Angel is hot.
Angel is hot. You know what? I think all three of them are hot in their own way.
Is it just me, or does David Boreanaz look kind of like a young clone of Ted Danson?
Ooh, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they both kind of have that
forehead thing.
Manly brow. Yeah. I just naturally started doing this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ted Danson has aged beautifully.
He has.
Oh, he has done very well.
Hello, Rebecca, and thank you.
Oh yes. Yeah. I think we've all come to the conclusion that it's basically Willow's the scariest.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, with Angel probably being second for me. Though Spike is a crazy rapist, so I don't know. It's hard to say. They're all kind of weird and scary.
I mean, when you think about it, when they broadcast Buffy the Vampire Slayer in Britain back right about the time I moved back in 2000, the bit where Willow got her revenge was actually censored for being too graphic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's basically why I would go with Willow as well.
Wow.
She's the only one in any of the episodes to get censored on British TV for excessive nastiness.
Wow. All right.
All right.
Well, you ready for another story, dear?
Let's do another story.
Ooh.
This one, again, is from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Somebody fell...
Quelfnoof!
All right. Quelfnoof! Blackadder called back. Okay. What's your favorite Halloween music? Oh. Nature Trail to Hell by Weird Al Yankovic. If you haven't heard Nature Trail to Hell by Weird Al Yankovic, it's about a horror movie that's being released at Christmas time.
I would say Night on Bald Mountain or Danse Macabre. I like both of those very much.
Oh, those are good too.
Yeah.
Hard to miss the classics. Night on Bald Mountain. Yeah, that's good stuff.
I'm very into classical music. I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
could put some Stravinsky on too. That'd be pretty scary. Or any of those like mid 20th century Russian composers that were all about the semitones. Oh, ow, my ears.
Yes.
But that would be good Halloween music.
Bum bum ba da 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 dum ba dum ba dum ba da 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 dum ba dum ba dum ba da 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 da. Wait, did Hitchcock come this way or this way on the screen? I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen an Alfred Hitchcock
You got the
program.
profile part right though.
I tried to.
Yeah.
You guys have the most dynamic conversations. Wow. Oh, thank you, Liz.
We spend a lot of time together.
Yes, and a lot of time apart.
Yes.
All right, so back to the story. Somebody fell from a loft. Okay, this time I said it without fouling it up. Okay. I'd signed on it. Oh. Retract that.
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the
You
charm.
can do this. I believe in you.
Right. I'd signed on as an ordinary seaman on the Falls of Ettrick, a merchant ship bound for England. The first time I saw that ship, I knew her right away. She was the old Gertrude Spurshoe. I'd sailed on her years before when she was painted brown and gold. Now she was painted black and had a new name, but it was the same ship for sure. We had a pretty good crew for that voyage, except for one hard-looking ticket named McLaren. He was a pretty good seaman, but there was something about him that I didn't trust. He was kind of secretive, kept mostly to himself. One day, somebody told him that I had worked on the old Gertrude, and for some reason he got all a tremble over that. Then I catched him giving me all these ugly looks as if he was itching to stick a knife in me. I guessed it had something to do with the Gertrude, but I didn't know what. Well, this one day we was trying to work our way through a dripping black fog. You'd scarcely know we had the lights on. And it was dead calm. There wasn't a breath of fresh air. The ship just lay there, wallowing in a trough, a-rolling and a-rolling, going nowhere. I was standing my watch around midships, and McLaren was doing his trick at the wheel. The rest of the crew was scattered about one place and another. It was as quiet as could be. And then all at once, whack! This thing hits the deck right in front of McLaren. He lets go a screech that turns my blood cold, and he falls down in a faint. The second mate starts yelling that somebody has fallen from aloft. Laying out there just forward of the wheel was someone or something dressed in oilskins with blood oozing out from underneath. The captain ran and fetched a big light from his cabin so he could see who it was. They kind of straightened him out to get a good look at his face. He was a big, ugly-looking devil, but nobody knew who he was or what he was doing up there. At least, nobody was saying. When McLaren came to from his faint, they tried to get something out of him. All he did was jabber away and keep rolling those big, wild-looking eyes of his. Everybody was getting more and more excited. We all wanted to heave the body overboard as quick as we could. There was something weird about it, as if it wasn't real. But the captain wasn't so sure about getting rid of it that way. Could it be a stowaway? He asked. But the ship was so filled with lumber we were carrying, there was no place where a living thing could hide for 3 weeks, which is how long we'd been out to sea. Even if it was a stowaway, what was it doing aloft on such a dirty night? There was no reason for anyone to be up there. There was nothing to see. Finally, the captain gave up and told us to heave him overboard. And then nobody would touch him. The mate ordered us to pick him up, but nobody made a move. Then he tried coaxing, but that didn't do any good. Suddenly, that loony McLaren starts yelling, "I handled him once and I can handle him again!" He picks up the body and staggers over to the railing with it. He's just about to throw it overboard when it wraps its 2 big long arms around him, and over they go together. And then on the way down, one of them starts laughing in an horrible way. The mates are yelling to launch a boat, but nobody would get into a boat, not on a night like that. But everybody knew they wouldn't help. So that was that. Or was it? The first chance I had to go home after that, I went right over to see old Captain Spurshoe, who was captain when the Gertrude was around. "Well," he says, "one trip these 2 outlandish men shipped aboard the Gertrude. One was McLaren, the other was a really big fella. The big one was always picking on McLaren and thumping him around, and McLaren was always talking about how he would get back at him. Well, this wet, dirty night, the two of them was up there alone, and the big one come flying down, killed himself dead in a herring. McLaren says the foot rope they were using parted and how he almost fell himself, but everybody who saw that rope knew she didn't give way on her own. She'd been cut through with a knife. After that, whenever we came to port, McLaren thought we were going to get the police after him, and he'd get pretty scared, but we couldn't prove anything, so we didn't try. In the end, I guess the big fella took care of things in his own way. If he was a ghost that came back, that's what he was. If there be such things as ghosts. And sink.
You really should end them with a spooky laugh.
Okay.
You have the most delicious spooky laughs. And then we would know.
Spooky enough for you?
That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's see what we've got going on. Yeah, Marty, he is in character the whole time. He's a good actor, and he's very good with voices.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are.
It's easy to say because it's true. Let's see.
Happy Halloween,
Happy
Cynthia.
Halloween. Back at you, Cynthia. I can't stop playing with this because I have this weird pillow in an awkward position. Every time I put my hands down, it's like...
Thank you, Cynthia.
Like I'm... It's just, I don't know if... I probably sound really weird, but it's just...
Poofy.
It's very poofy in an awkward place. And that's entertaining to me because I'm a toddler.
Is there chocolate hidden in there?
I
Says
wish.
Marnie. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Don't I
man.
wish, too.
Though this costume's a couple years old at this point, so it'd probably be kind of gross. Probably have that white film that old chocolate gets on it.
Oh, that's just, what is that called? That's the butter fats from the cocoa.
Is it?
Yeah.
All I know is it usually doesn't taste as good after that happens.
Well, it still tastes better than nothing.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I'm very much into chocolate no matter what kind it has. Unless it's... We had this one chocolate that came out a couple years back, right as I was preparing to leave England again. What was it called? It was Montezuma. Montezuma has some pretty good chocolate, if you've ever seen Montezuma chocolate. But they came out with this bar called 100%. It was called Absolute Dark or something like that. It was 100% cocoa solids with a smidge of orange oil in it. And you popped it in your mouth and you got dark chocolate and orange oil right at the beginning. You thought, oh, this ain't going to be so bad. And then after about 2.5 seconds, it literally turned to ashes in your mouth. It just crumbled into dust and then sucked all the moisture out of all your entire head. And even if you took a swig of coconut milk or something, it wouldn't help. It's just bleh. Yeah. It was pretty darn disgusting. Didn't sell very well, unsurprisingly. But yeah. Anywho, so shall we do another a poll
Yes.
type thing?
Okay.
Poll.
All right. So you are a trick-or-treater.
Yes.
And you are adorable. And you are going from house to house. Which candy are you hoping for? This is not a yes or a no. This is open-ended. What is the candy you are hoping that the neighbors are gonna put in your little pumpkin-shaped basket?
Yes. Favorite trick-or-treating stuff.
What's your favorite? I mean, if you didn't have allergies and stuff.
If I didn't have any allergies these days, Reese's peanut butter, anything, basically.
Those are good.
Those are excellent.
Yeah, I was never let down by those.
Hershey.
I really like Dots. I think Dots are...
Those little ones attached to the paper?
No, the little gumdrops.
Oh, the little gumdrops. Oh, I
they're-
see.
They're classic. They're
Yeah.
so nice. It's a refreshing thing when you get a bunch of chocolate to have
Yeah.
the Dots. It's like having, fruit to go with your vegetables or something like that.
Yeah.
Well-rounded,
Yeah.
candy
Yeah.
food groups.
Well, gumdrops can be very good.
Yeah.
We got some spice drops last time we went to the theater, which was like last year sometime.
We have a lot of people saying Reese's Cups. We have Snickers. Snickers is solid.
Yeah.
Snickers is a good one. I like Kit Kats too.
Kit Kats are good, but I won't buy them anymore because
of
Nestle
Nestle.
is evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
M&M's, Mary Jane's, Peanut Butter Taffy. That's a good one. Underappreciated there. Butterfinger, Goldberg's Peanut Chews, Liz says.
Not heard of those.
I bet they are amazing though because they sound very promising. Twix are
Twix
are
are
a
nice.
good choice.
Hey,
Yeah.
Twix. Oh, now I want Millionaire Shortbread.
Yeah, I named a wig color Millionaire Shortbread because Twix is branded, but that is not. But yeah, I love that stuff, and they're basically the same thing except Millionaire Shortbread is bigger.
Yeah. Bigger and a lot thicker. Someone says Tootsie Rolls. You know, I don't like the main Tootsie Rolls, but I really love those multicolored rolls they used to come out with on Easter. Do you remember? Anyone remember those multicolored Tootsie Roll things?
The vanilla ones are really good.
Yeah,
The blueberry.
Yeah.
They have the pink, whatever that one is. I think
Yeah.
it's raspberry, maybe.
Tootsie Pops, they're so small now. Yeah.
Oh, they used to be bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Because they're going by quite fast.
Basically we've covered all of them so far.
Mary Jane's, I'm not familiar with those.
Yeah. Just the shoes, and I wouldn't want to eat those.
Yeah, that would be bad. Oh, depends on how long the famine goes on for.
So I think we're gonna have to say that Reese's Cups are basically the big winner there.
Reese's things basically have the most votes. Oh, someone mentioned Smarties. We've got Mary Jane's have peanut butter. Oh, that sounds nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've got a different type of Smarties over in Britain. They're a lot like M&Ms, only slightly thinner with a slightly thicker sugar shell, and some of them have orange flavored chocolate in the middle. And they used to be made by Roundtree's, but now they're made by Nestle. So they're off my list anymore these days. Oh well.
Well, I have a follow-up question since we're talking about bummers.
Yeah.
What candy do you get mad at your neighbors for putting in your basket? What should they just never, ever, ever hand out to trick-or-treaters unless they really hate children?
Yeah, and don't just limit yourself to candy. Anything that gets put in a trick-or-treat basket that causes irritation, whether it happened to you personally or it happened to your kids. Gummies.
Yeah.
Last year's candy, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah. My answer is super subjective, and it's just my opinion, but I freaking can't stand Milk Duds because I don't like stuff that gets stuck in my teeth. That drives me bonkers.
Jolly Ranchers, gummies, candy corn.
Yeah, anything that gets stuck.
Pencils. Oh!
People do that, that's evil.
Black licorice, good and plenty. Anything with raisins. Well, Heather makes some bloody good cookies with raisins in. Oh.
Yeah, but I usually like do something with the raisins.
Apples,
Yeah.
that's another irritating one. The one that always got me was popcorn balls.
Popcorn balls.
Yeah, because
Do people still hand those out? Because I thought.
well, they did when I was a kid. All the popcorn balls they always gave out. I tried eating them, but they were just. They're like compressed sawdust. They always stuck in your teeth. You always had a kernel or two that were rock hard.
Yeah, no.
Ugh, no.
No, I hate stuff that gets stuck in my teeth.
No. Some people have said that there were dentists in their neighborhood that would give out toothbrushes for trick-or-treaters, and I just thought that is sadistic.
People are disagreeing with you on the popcorn balls, honey.
Oh,
We
no.
have some lovers of the popcorn balls.
Oh, that's perfectly all right. Just the ones I always got were the horrible cheap ones that chipped your teeth and made you gag.
Good and plenty. Oh yeah, that's another one that gets stuck in the teeth. Grrr.
Good and plenty.
Good one, Melissa. I agree. But
Pennies. At least you can spend pennies, or at
Yeah.
least save them up.
that just seems rude, though. Like they're just trying to get rid of their extra pennies. So here, child. Here's 50 cents.
Well, it could be worse because there was a tradition actually in Honiton. You know, I mentioned Honiton earlier, no, that was Exeter. I've only been to like 2 or 3 different conventions in my home county. One was held annually in Honiton, and the one I met Robert Englund at was in Exeter. Oh, mini fruitcakes. I like fruitcakes. But
English people really like fruitcake a lot.
that's because we make it well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, no,
But
this.
still, that is not appropriate for Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
right?
But there was a tradition in Honiton called hot pennies, where basically they got all the poor kids to walk through town,
Oh, no.
and then all the rich people would throw pennies that they'd boiled in saucepans out the window so the kids would burn their hands.
You know,
I did not partake in that. I've only heard of it. It's a tradition that they don't do anymore.
Words fail me. All I can do is groan in disapproval.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's...
Yeah, it is awful.
All right. Well, speaking of awful,
Yes.
how about another story?
All right.
I think you woke everyone immediately when you did the ka-chonk. Like when I went oh or whatever sound I made. That was an organic thing. That was not planned.
I didn't plan it. It was just spontaneous. I was in the moment.
The spirit moved you. Spirit spoke to you and said,
Brits hate kids. I don't hate kids. I like my godsons. They're absolutely marvelous. They're bright and they're fun and they're generally good kids.
they're incredibly smart.
A lot of other kids though. I weep for the species. Anyway, again, from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This one is called The Appointment. A 60-year-old... This is terrible. I stumble over my words so much sometimes, even when I'm trying to read. I don't know, I think my brain gets ahead of my mouth.
But you do it beautifully.
Thank you.
It still sounds delicious.
And thank you, Dory. My fam did great fruitcakes. I bet they did. Fruit. Now I want fruitcakes. I got. Oh! Do we still have? I think we still have some. Yeah, I think we
What?
still have some mince pie filling from last Christmas. Sorry, traditional foods get me going in a reverie, and then I start salivating. So anyway, The Appointment. A 16-year-old boy worked on his grandfather's horse farm. One morning, he drove a pickup truck into town on an errand. While he was walking along the main street, he saw death. Death beckoned to him. The boy drove back to the farm as fast as he could and told his grandfather what happened. "Give me the truck," he begged. "I'll go to the city. You'll never find me there." His grandfather gave him the truck, and the boy sped away. After he left, his grandfather went into town looking for Death. When he found him, he asked, "Why'd you frighten my grandson that way? He's only 16. He's too young to die." "I'm sorry about that," said Death. "I did not mean to beckon to him, but I was surprised to see him here. You see, I have an appointment with him this afternoon in the city." Since we're talking about Death as a character, does anyone like the Discworld books by Terry Pratchett? That's a good question to ask. "I made you want fruitcake," says Marnie. Yeah, well, it doesn't take much to make me want fruitcake, Marnie, to be perfectly honest. You just have to type or mention or even think fruitcake within 1,000 miles of me and I want fruitcake.
It is not specific to fruitcake because we had a conversation earlier today where I was asking him if, having Mediterranean food and then poke would be weird. And he was like, "I like food," was essentially the answer. Like, have you ever known me to not like food?
Yeah.
And so I ordered that.
Yes.
Even though they don't really go together.
Well, poke for dinner, and you can have the leftovers tomorrow for breakfast.
It's healthy.
Mm.
I figured with all of this condensed milk that I'm indulging in that I should probably cool it when it comes to the food.
Well, it's Halloween. We don't have chocolate, so might as well have a little bit of fun. Not heard of those books. I do remember the old Death Takes a Holiday movie. Love that plot. Oh yeah, also that was remade as Meet Joe Black, wasn't it? If I recall correctly. But yeah, Discworld novels by Terry Pratchett. Essentially, he started off with 2 books that followed one immediately after the other, and he was essentially making fun of fantasy story tropes and Dungeons and Dragons type things, and then people loved him, and they just started growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing until he fleshed out essentially an entire world with loads of characters that keep cropping up. But the only one that shows up in every single book is Death, the personification. And he's fun. He likes cats. He really loves curry. And he tries. Bless him. He tries.
He's voiced by Christopher Lee.
And in the cartoons, and in one of the movies, he's voiced by Christopher Lee. Yeah. In one of the other movies, he's voiced by, I can't remember his name. I was mentioning this in the first live stream this morning. I have a terrible problem with remembering names, especially when I have to remember them. I just get up to mentioning the name, and then it goes out of my brain.
Honey, we're middle-aged.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Right. Anyway, but yes, the guy who, Ian Richardson, I believe, who played the Francis Urquhart role in the original House of Cards TV series from Britain. But yeah, he played Death in one mini-series, and then other than that, they were always played by Christopher Lee. So that was good. Christopher Lee is cool. And if you want to hear about how cool Christopher Lee is, you can check out our original podcast, our live stream this morning.
Yeah, he was a Nazi hunter.
Yes.
/ James Bond type. He
Yes.
spoke like a billion languages, polyglot guy, and yeah.
Released heavy metal albums in his 80s.
Just a super cool guy. Super cool.
Yes, we have such a range of interests, Liz, because lots of things are interesting.
Yeah.
Except for sports. Sports bore the absolute pants off me. Which you can't see now, thankfully.
It's like all those Zoom live streams. I think that was like a joke that went around as soon as the lockdown started, where all these Zoom meetings and everything. People were like, "Are you even wearing pants?" Because you could only see people from here up. For the record, we are both wearing pants.
And trousers.
Oh my gosh. Okay, story time. Okay. You know I'm going to go to that mini golf story. Right?
Oh, the mini golf.
God.
The mini golf
God.
story, people.
Oh God. Okay, so I just said pants a whole bunch. Well, outside of the USA, that has a different meaning. You know, it means underwear, essentially, as opposed to...
As in underpants.
Yeah.
Pants is an abbreviation for underpants.
Yeah, and so I'm so used to saying pants instead of saying trousers or slacks or something like that. And so we went mini golfing, and
in England.
In England, and the group in front of us had this little boy who had dinosaurs all over his trousers. And I said, "Your pants are so cool." And he just gave me this look like I was the weirdest, most messed up person.
So did his slightly older brother, who was about 5 or 6.
And I so didn't mean it like that.
No.
But apparently I told this kid he has really cool looking underwear. But I meant his dinosaur trousers because they were really rad. They had like T-Rexes and little
Stegosaurs.
And it was
Everything.
very cool.
Oh, thank you, Christy.
Yeah, Christy says, "You are a great host, having so much fun getting to know you. Yeah, thank you. I also really liked what Dory said earlier, Nigel, about you being awesome. I agree, Dory.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I must have missed that one when I was reading.
Yeah, no, here, I gotta read it to you. 'Cause it's super cute. Oh my gosh. No, hold on.
No shucks, no, I'm embarrassed.
Going up. She said, "Love you, Nigel, for reading to us. Heather, you really got a great guy." I agree completely.
Thank you.
Yeah. No,
I try.
I love sharing him with you guys like this too, because it helps him kind of come out of his shell a little bit. Like, I love that, because Yeah, he's awesome. So, okay. Let's see what else we got going on down here. All right.
Have we caught up?
Liz says 2 countries separated by a common language. Absolutely.
Proper job, mate.
Yeah, it was one of those things that was kind of embarrassing, but I meant well. I meant to compliment him on his amazing taste in fashion, but it came out all weird.
Are.
Alrighty, I have another poll for you. Okay, if you had to fight zombies or vampires, which would be worse for you? Like, what is the foe you would least like to go up against? Nigel,
But you could read the pants off some Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, probably could too.
Oh, we should
Someone's
get
asking
that.
what's that wig behind you that looks like cotton candy?
Oh,
I assume you mean the big one up on the top shelf there?
this one here.
That one there?
I collect a lot of wigs. I have a lot of wigs. I have wigs from tons of brands. This is actually from It's a Wig, and I cannot remember for the life of me what the name of the wig is. But I mean, once you start looking at places like Ebony Online or something like that, you'll be able to see this. And they actually have different variations of how these colors are laid out. Usually right around Pride Month is when you'll start to see that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, every year I try to gobble up all of the rainbow colored wigs that come out because I am like, my spirit animal is plastered with Lisa Frank stickers. So, you know, I want everything to be happy unicorn glitter explosion. Woo!
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty tacky sometimes. And I love these kind of rainbow wigs. The one I had on earlier was another one that I bought because of Pride and the fact that, you know, they came out with that rainbow sort of neon highlight scheme on the side. That was pretty sweet too.
So far, zombies seem to be winning. Well, we had a few votes for vampires. Yeah, the thing about zombies is that the two different types of zombies. The old school traditional zombies, which are just corpses raised from the dead to do work, and the modern plague-carrying speedster zombies that eat flesh, which in the original, we were watching about the original Night of the Living Dead. Originally, oh crap, who's the guy who did the Night of the Living Dead? Who did Night of the Living Dead, folks? I can't remember his name.
George Romero?
George Romero, thank you, yes. George Romero originally called them ghouls. So yeah, that was that they didn't even get the name zombies until much later.
I swear I am not being rude, by the way. Somebody mentioned Edgar Allan Poe, and I'm pulling up The Raven for later. How about we do that as the closer?
All right.
Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, that's okay. I was going to I was going to do a bit from memory, but if you've got the whole thing, I only know a bit of the first part.
But you could do the
by
whole
memory.
The whole
All right,
thing.
excellent.
I just pulled it up on my phone, so I was doing something relevant. I wasn't ignoring you guys, I promise.
Yes.
All right, so I got that for later, so you can have the whole thing right there.
Right.
He does it beautifully.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
The Telltale Heart.
I mean, would you rather do that one or the Raven?
I like the Raven.
Okay.
Because it's got corvids in it. I like corvids.
I'll let him choose, because you know they're longer poems, so.
Oh, speaking of ravens, if you get a chance, check out, there's a channel on YouTube called Falconry and Me, and the lady who does that, she has a raven called Fable.
Yeah.
And Fable is absolutely adorable.
So cute.
In fact, Heather got me a Fable the Raven shirt for my birthday. It's adorable.
It says wow and boop boop because this raven, she goes boop boop at the camera constantly. Like my camcorder makes the same sound.
Yeah.
So
Marnie loves Fable. Yes.
Yes. Oh, she's so cute. Oh.
Hi.
I like
I'm Fable.
That's my favorite one is when she doesn't realize she's being recorded and she just keeps saying, "Hi, I'm Fable. Fable. I'm Fable."
Yeah. The lady who owns Fable just stuck a recorder out of sight, and Fable just practiced talking for hours on end.
Marnie was just saying the same thing.
Yeah.
That she likes the ones where she doesn't know she's being recorded.
Yes.
Yeah, those are so cute.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, shall we go to another story or another poll, or what would you like to do?
I'll let you decide. We're still in the middle of one. Did we decide that zombies or vampires?
Oh, I think I saw zombies get more votes, but vampires were fast approaching on them.
Zombies are fast. Cynthia said she loved your Vincent Price.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
He is delicious.
Okay. Erin is asking the real questions here. She wants to know fast zombies or slow zombies. I'm gonna say fast because they're scary.
Yeah.
You know, if we're trying to go scary versus scary. But that's also assuming that we're talking about vampires with maxed out skill sets too. Like, you know, they're all the way maxed out. So they, you know, they have like telepathy and all that other stuff. They can turn into mist, they can turn into bats, they can
look a bit like Graf Orlok as opposed to, say, Frank Langella or Bela Lugosi.
So they'll have the psychological powers and stuff.
And not those glittery Twilight vampires, says Marty. No.
Get out of here with that glitter. I want to be the glittery one, not the vampire boyfriend.
Well, you're already very glittery.
I know. Yes, story, Fable the Raven. It's on a YouTube channel called Falconry and Me.
Yeah.
And she trains birds. So it's pretty cool. And it's basically like her whole life is training these birds, and Fable is her raven. And she teaches her words, and it's very wholesome.
It's very wholesome, and Fable is cute, if a bit ornery sometimes.
Yeah, it's very pleasant. My two favorite things to unwind both kind of like revolve around birds. I like Fable's videos, and I really love this clip. And I should probably share this on my community tab. Anytime he wants to make me smile, or if I'm in a bad mood, he will put this clip on because it works literally every time. It is a clip of David Attenborough with this bird of paradise that has this big, outrageous, fluffy yellow tail that will not shut up long enough for David Attenborough to actually say his little introduction. And the bird is just acting like a demented Muppet. It is so funny.
This bird of paradise, it's fine. It's fine with David Attenborough being immediately below him and doesn't care a whit in the world.
No.
He's going to display. And David Attenborough is trying to do a piece to camera about the origin of the name of these birds of paradise. And meanwhile, he's doing this in his quiet, hushed, reverent tone, as he tends to do. Meanwhile, this bird of paradise is going,
Woohoo! Icky, 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 icky.
Huggle.
Like, it is such a wholesome, funny clip. It's just beautiful.
He gets about 3 words out. And they call this bird, woohoo! Yeah, woohoo!
Very
Paradisia apoda, the bird of paradise without legs. It's great stuff. It's great stuff. David Attenborough interrupted by Bird of Paradise. Great stuff.
I'll try to put it on the community tab maybe tomorrow because it's so funny. And if you get bummed out, just watch it. This goofy bird, he's living his best life. And it's fantastic. He upstages Sir David Attenborough. It's fantastic.
There's a monkey in a blue shirt down here. I don't care. I'm calling to the babes. Oh, it's an absolute hoot.
All right, are we ready for another story then?
The only way this would be better is if you guys were in bird costumes.
That was earlier. I had like a whole bunch of feathers all over me.
Oh yeah, she had a corvid cape sort of thing, didn't you?
Yeah.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
Yeah. Marnie says she was digging on that costume. Yeah, we got that at Camden Market
Yeah.
in London, in a shop which no longer exists, if I recall correctly. But
It was the time before we got this shirt for you.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I've been waiting for an excuse to wear it. It had been packed away, so.
Oh yeah. If you're into goth stuff, get to Camden Market. They usually have something good there.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, we have a story from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This one is called Just Delicious. My hair's all floofy. George Flint loved to eat. Each day at noon, he closed his camera shop for 2 hours and went home for a big lunch that his wife Mina cooked for him. Problem is, George was a bully and Mina was a timid woman who did everything he asked because she was afraid of him. On his way home from lunch one day, George stopped at the butcher shop and bought a pound of liver. He loved liver. He'd have Mina cook it for dinner that night. But despite all his complaints about her, she was a very good cook. While George ate his lunch, Mina told him that a rich old woman in town had died. Her body was in the church next door. It was in an open coffin. Anyone who wanted to see her could. As usual, George wasn't interested in what Mina had to say. "I've got to go back to work," he told her. After he left, Mina began to cook the liver. She added vegetables and spices and simmered it all afternoon just the way George liked it. When she thought it was done, she cut off a small piece and tasted it. It was delicious. The best she had ever made. So she ate a second piece. And then a third. It was so good she couldn't stop eating it. It was only when the liver was all gone that she thought of George. He'd be coming home soon, and what would he do when he found out she'd eaten all his liver? Some men would laugh. Not George. He would be angry and mean, and she didn't want to face that again. But where could she get another piece of liver that late in the day? Then she remembered the old woman lying in the church next door, waiting to be buried. George said he'd never had a better dinner. "Have some liver, Mina," he said. "It's just delicious." "I'm not hungry," she said. "You finish it." That night, after George had fallen asleep, Mina sat in bed trying to read. But all she could think about was what she'd done. Then she thought she heard a woman's voice. "Who has my liver?" it asked. "Who has it?" Was it her imagination? Was she dreaming? Now the voice was closer. "Who has my liver?" it asked. "Who has it?" Mina wanted to run. Nah, she whispered. I don't have it. I don't have your liver." Now the voice was right next to her. "Who has my liver?" it asked. "Who has it?" Mina froze with terror. She pointed to George. "He does," she said. "He has it." Suddenly the light went out, and George screamed and screamed and screamed.
Yay! Oh,
Okay, that was that one.
that was excellent.
I waited for this Halloween for 3 years, dang the COVID.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. Yay, cannibalism. Well, I often make jokes about cannibalism. Don't know why, probably just because I'm morbid.
Sometimes taboos are funny.
Meh. Oh.
Let's see.
Especially the ones that are misspelled. Oh, that's tattoos.
Oh, I gotta scroll up. Did we come to a consensus about the important question of zombies versus vampires?
I think zombies had more votes, but vampires started to
I'm
catch
seeing
up towards the
zombies.
end.
I'm seeing zombies.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of zombies. So let's say zombies.
Yeah. All I can think of for the next few days is who has my liver? And justified, he was mean. Yeah, very true. And you know what? Now I want some liver and bacon paste. We used to have this. We used to have these potted meat sandwich pastes in England, and the Shipham's company used to make all different kind of flavors. And my favorite flavor was liver and bacon. I can't remember if it was goose liver or chicken liver.
Oh my goodness!
But it was liver and bacon. Oh, it was delicious.
I would probably pass on that.
Delicious. Bacon, Heather. It has
Yeah.
bacon in it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not into a lot of snack foods.
Fair enough.
I do like popcorn.
Popcorn's good.
I love popcorn. I just
Hey,
don't like eating the bottom of the bag.
Yeah, I know what you
Because
mean.
it's got all the little bits and stuff that gets stuck. See, again, we're going back to stuff stuck in my teeth. I just hate that sensation.
Pate. Yes. Yes, Loida. Yes. And bacon is always good. Very true. And fruitcake. Yes. Not so much spooky as just sort of kitchen-y. I go on tangents about food. Not enough bacon in the world. Yes.
All right, I have another question for everybody.
All right.
Okay, so what is your favorite Johnny Depp character? Because basically any character he has played, you could probably dress up as for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And people would be like, I know that you're Captain Jack Sparrow or Edward Scissorhands.
Yes.
So, what is your favorite Johnny Depp character?
Johnny Depp characters.
Oh, Edward Scissorhands.
Edward
Poor
Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. Kim requests her coffin be filled with popcorn. Edward all day, another one for Edward.
Yeah.
Well, being born in pirate country, you would expect me to say Captain Jack Sparrow, and he's up there for me, yes. That's why there's alcohol, because you can't drink bacon. You say that, someone is going to make bacon-flavored gin.
That does... No. I'm so...
Give it time. Someone will do it.
Oh, Benny and June. Oh, that's such a cute movie.
I've not actually seen that one.
It's a cute one.
Mm.
He does that whole Buster Keaton routine with the bread.
The rolls on the forks. Yeah.
It's cute.
Edward Scissorhands again. I'll tell you
Yeah.
what. Johnny Depp movie I like, and I've seen a lot more Johnny Depp movies than I originally thought of, and then he just keeps showing up in them. Well, Rango is brilliant. It's amazing. But the one that gets very little love from anyone is Ed Wood.
Oh, that's a great movie.
I love that movie. Ed Wood. Okay, so Edward Scissorhands
Ed
pretty
Wood.
much seems to be winning so far, but does anyone like Ed Wood? Either the original Man's movies or the Johnny Depp film?
Aww.
One vote from Erin, yes, okay. And one for Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
I still haven't seen that one, but I was going to say I love Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So I love his Hunter S. Thompson because I mean it's pretty spot on with the source material there.
Ed Wood is the best.
Yeah. I feel so bad for Ed Wood because I watched like Glenn and Glenda.
Oh
right?
yes, yeah. After we watched Ed Wood, we actually tried to watch the original Glenn and Glenda, and
it's so close to being profound.
It's close to being profound and progressive and understanding, and then somewhere it just goes off the rails. And yes, Johnny Depp is an amazing actor. The Willy Wonka.
His Willy Wonka was creepy.
Very creepy.
Very good job on that one.
Yes.
Nightmare on Elm Street. He was.
Yes,
He was.
and introducing Johnny Depp.
Right on.
Yes.
Good job, Marty. Absolutely, because that's like Double Trouble.
Yeah.
Iconic horror series.
With a nice guy.
And J. Depp.
Also a nice guy.
Yeah.
I love seeing those pictures of Johnny Depp dressed as a pirate feeding baby bats in Australia. Have you seen those online? Because I belong to a bat group on Facebook because I like bats. I think they're fluffy and adorable.
He calls them little flitterfluffs.
Flitterfluffs, yes. But yeah, he when he was living out in Australia, he supported a local bat sanctuary, and there are pictures of him dressed as Jack Sparrow, cuddling a little fruit bat and giving it a bottle, or a banana, or stuff like that, and. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. Alright. So yeah, his bed killed him. Yes, it did.
Donnie Brasco. I've not seen that one.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I don't know. I think we're gonna have to go with Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands has gotten the most votes.
But I'm glad that we had such a great discussion about that because, I think that he's really versatile as an actor.
Oh, he's amazingly good.
Yeah. I mean, and I really liked him in Sweeney Todd too.
Yeah. I didn't much like the musical. I don't know. There's something about it I didn't quite like. I mean, I'm fine with the whole cannibalism angle, but just the songs. The songs didn't do it for me mostly. Apart from the one, what was that? A little preacher or a little.
Oh,
Yeah.
How about priest?
A little priest.
Yeah.
That one was amusing, but I just couldn't get behind the idea of all these morbid people, these mass murderers suddenly breaking into song. It just didn't do it for me. He was also in Tom Petty's Into the Wide Open video. I don't remember that one.
I have to check that out now because I really like Tom Petty. And he has good music videos. Don't Come Around Here No More. That is an amazing music video. Have you ever seen that with the Alice in Wonderland theme?
No, I haven't.
It's still impressive looking, even now. It has aged really, really well. Oh, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? That's really good too.
I've not seen that one either. I think that came out at a time when I wasn't watching many movies. I never caught up.
Oh, I agree with you, Barbara. She says we can all talk movies, music, and books. Yes. See, I love that too. I like having the... See, the weird thing about social media, particularly YouTube, is it likes it when you only talk about one thing all the time, and it really incentivizes that. And I don't want to do that. I think that, we're all like complicated, interesting people. And I want to get to know you guys. I want you to get to know us. Like...
Yeah, because I've had some fabulous discussions on here about, side projects while we're doing these live streams. People talk about books and movies and stuff they like. Fantastic things.
Yeah, he helps moderate the YouTube and the Instagram comments. So just know when you get a response, it's not always going to be from me directly, but Nigel's in there too.
Yeah, I'm sometimes in there interacting.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of fun.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Okay, I've got one more marked from here. It's a short one. Again, it's from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And this one is called Strangers. A man and a woman happened to sit next to one another on a train. The woman took out a book and began reading. The train stopped at half a dozen stations, but she never looked up once. The man watched her for a while, and then he asked, "What are you reading?" "It's a ghost story," she said. "It's very good, very spooky." "Do you believe in ghosts?" he asked. "Yes, I do," she replied. "There are ghosts everywhere." I don't believe in them," he said. "It's just a lot of superstition. In all my years, I've never seen a ghost, not one." "Haven't you?" the woman said, and vanished.
Dun dun dun! Hey, so was that the last one?
That's the last one I picked out of that book. I mean, I could keep going for a while in those, but I had to, limit it.
Yeah, especially if you're going to do The Raven. That's pretty long.
That book cover is everything, yes.
Yeah, that just arrived today. I'm glad they kept all the original drawings, because I know that they did a re-release like a decade ago that had different drawings. How dare they?
Yeah.
The drawings in that, when I was a little kid, I used to be so freaked out by that one drawing of the lady who had like the big holes for eyes. I was going, that one scared me.
Do you guys believe in ghosts?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I have not seen one personally. I've heard the stories, I've taken them into account, but I haven't seen one personally, so I can't, I don't have an opinion until I have an experience.
I am kind of on the fence about it because, I've not really experienced it myself either, except in the first live stream I mentioned that I went to Jeffrey Dahmer's childhood home. I got in with a partner of mine who was part of this nerd group that we were both in for computer geeks, and we were invited to go visit this house. And I tried to take pictures in parts of the house just to kind of show what it looked like and so I could remember it. And in parts of the house, I could not get the camera to focus. I could not get it to take a clear image because there would always be this ovoid blur, literally a big blurry smudge right in the middle. And the thing is, it wouldn't be in other places. So either something like really reflective in that space, and maybe that was kicking that back, but that kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was, because I mean, the first person that Jeffrey Dahmer ever killed, he put in that space for like a week. So, yeah, it was kind of spooky. And I would say that after that experience, you know, I went from not believing in it to thinking, oh, well, maybe. Who knows? How about you guys?
There's a particular... Marnie has the first line of that response is pure gold.
I want to believe I've got a list of people to haunt, but despite my best efforts, I've not been able to encounter a ghost. I've even lived in a house that was supposedly haunted. Nothing. I love that.
There's a question in the latest one that came down, but it disappeared.
Do you know of podcast or radio that has old-time stories like Radio Mystery Theater? I used to listen to when I was young. I'm old now, so I'm out of a loop. I'm not sure, but I do know that there are a lot of, like, I listen to the Lore podcast every day.
Yeah.
And that's a really good one. The guy's got a really soothing voice, and most of the stories are like folklore, or like, they're kind of like the scary stories to tell in the dark type stories. But he's got a really gentle tone, so it's a really nice thing. I mean, even though the stories themselves can be disturbing, because he's talking about like the Salem witch trials and stuff like that, and all kinds of really heavy topics, but the delivery is so gentle, and the pacing is very gentle, and it's just a very, it's a soothing thing to listen to, even though the subject matter is not.
Do you believe in fairies? Well, I will when I meet one. Until then, probably not. I want to meet one first.
Oh.
E.G. Marshall. E.G. Marshall.
What's that?
Good question. Could you elaborate on that, Kim, please? I think I might have missed something.
Oh, maybe that's the podcast. Is that a podcast recommendation? Well,
who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men.
Melissa says, I saw my grandmother, who I didn't know had died, in a cathedral in Wales. Wow. I described her funeral dress, but knew for her burial. Wow. That's pretty definitive proof right there.
That's an experience.
Wow. Oh, E.G. Marshall's an actor. Listen.
Yes.
Okay. Well, something to look into then.
Alrighty. Yeah. Excellent.
All right. Well.
How about let's get another.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Halloween poll number something.
If you could be one of these two women, who would you rather be? Like, who would you rather dress up as for Halloween, or who would you rather like live as for day, like being John Malkovich style? Lily Munster or Morticia Addams?
That's a good one.
I mean, would you want to be a woman for a day? And if so, which one? Or who would you like to hang out with?
Oh, definitely the Addams Family. Yeah.
They seem slightly more homicidal, though. The Munsters are way more...
mellow?
Totally.
Yeah, but Grandpa's experiments are a little too explosive. Plus, they've got a dirty great dragon underneath the stairs. And again, to go back to another topic, I like reptiles, but I draw the line at dirty great fire-breathing dragons. Whacking girt antediluvial beasties that can eat me in one bite, I would prefer to avoid.
Yep.
R.
So I think just about everyone is saying Morticia.
Morticia was more spooky and mysterious.
Yeah.
Gomez, the passion.
Oh, Gomez is delicious. Yes. Oh, here's the question then. Which Gomez? Oh, okay. That's the new question.
Yes.
There are three that I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh, yes.
Because there's
John Astin.
There's Raul Julia, and Tim Curry played Gomez, didn't he?
Tim Curry played Gomez, and also who else did? Oh, cripes, what's his name? Nathan Lane played Gomez in Broadway. And don't forget, there's Oscar Isaacs plays Gomez in the new movie.
Wow.
Which is getting a sequel out next year.
Hooray! Oh, Raul Julia was so beautiful. But John Astin was so whimsical. Like, his facial expressions were just magical.
Yes.
But, oh, Barbara says my dad had a book of the Addams cartoons from the New Yorker.
Oh, I've got a couple books of those, couple
Yeah.
anthologies. They have a couple. There are a few cartoons that are duplicated in both of them, but I do have those. They're great. If you get a chance to check out Charles Addams's cartoons, they are a hoot. They're not all about the Addams family, but they feature heavily. My absolute favorite of the non-Addams Family cartoons is this oldie-timey patent office with a clerk in the pince-nez with an electrical plug-in gun, and he's turning to the inventor and saying, "Death ray, fiddlesticks, it doesn't even slow them up." But, they're absolutely a treat, and Heather was already into the 1990s Addams Family movies. So I broke out the Addams Family, the Charles Addams cartoon books to show her, and I pointed at all the lines that they used in the movies, like "Unhappy, darling? Oh, yes. Yes, completely." That stuff.
Yeah.
And furthermore, if you've not seen it, the new Addams Family cartoons, cartoon movie that is, if you look in there and then you look in the original Charles Addams cartoon books, you see background characters from those old books in the cartoons. Like there's this bald guy with wide-spaced wall eyes and a pointy nose, and his wife, who is about 4 foot tall with a mushroom haircut and a sort of manic fixed grin like this. They're in the movie as well, and they have characters from the Addams Family movies from the 90s in there. It's just an absolute blast if you're an Addams geek.
Kim says she has to go. Bye, Kim.
Bye, Kim.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thanks for dropping by.
Oh gosh, I'm going to mispronounce this. RDMG Tabuela. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I butchered that name. I'm going to blame the Tito's. So,
Does that say abuela at the end?
Yes. Okay, so that part we got. So, Nigel, you tell the best stories, and the English accent and deep voice sure helps.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, it does.
And Liz is eating dinner with us. Thank you, Liz.
Yay! That's excellent. I mean, I would be afraid to do that on camera, but if I had my way, we would all be eating dinner together.
Oh, yes.
And if I had my way, we would all be giving candy to cute, adorable trick-or-treaters right now, too.
Yes. And keeping a lot for ourselves as well. But...
Well, yes. As we have discussed already, the Reese's Cups.
Unfortunately, I'm slightly allergic to peanuts nowadays, so I'll just stick to Three Musketeers.
Hey, that works too.
Also good.
Nougat is delightful.
Alrighty. So, what next?
Okay,
Another
so
story?
we can do another story. Hold on, I want to write this down. Yeah, I think I pretty much asked all of... Oh, I've got one more question.
Okay.
And I want to say that it looks like we do have some votes for John Astin. We do have some votes for Tim Curry, but I think Raul Julia basically gets it.
Oh, yes. Well, Raul Julia is excellent.
He was really hot.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Which part of England are you coming from? Well, I'm originally from Torquay in Devonshire. But I was only born there. After that, I lived for about 1.5 years in Malaysia, and then back again for 6 months. And then when I was 2, family moved to Ohio, and we lived there for 24 years. And then we moved back to England, and in those intervening years, my accent got sort of muddled. So it's not really one thing or another. I mean, if I concentrate, I can go one way or the other, or off in a completely different direction if necessary. But when I'm in... A lot of people just ask me if I'm Canadian. Don't know why. Oh, it's probably because Devonians and Canadians both say A. Isn't that right, mate? Hey.
R.
Proper job. She's learning well.
All right, so what are you going to read for us, honey?
Okay, this one is from Ghosts of Devon by Peter Underwood. Did a few readings from this earlier in the first live stream we did. But this one, I saved this one because it's my hometown. Torquay. Tor Abbey, founded in 1196 and once an important monastery, passed into private ownership at the dissolution of the monasteries. Among the earlier remains are a 14th century gateway, the entrance to the chapter house, the refectory, and a barn known as the Spanish Barn, since the crew of an Armada galleon was confined there, and all of those structures are reputed to be haunted. My friend Derek Seymour was working on a history of Tor Abbey, which is eagerly awaited. Mr. Lee, the custodian of the Abbey in 1968, told Derek Seymour that both he and his wife sometimes heard footsteps in the gallery of the Abbey. On each occasion, a careful check was made, and it seems that no human being could have been responsible for the sounds. Often, too, Mr. Lee would feel very strongly that he was not alone when he was at work in his office, and a visiting expert once told him that there was a very evil influence there, and that a murder had been committed thereabouts long ago. Mr. Lee was seeing Derek Seymour out by the door at the top of the stairs in the Abbot's Tower, and my friend had just chanced to remark that it was a pity that they could not go back in time and see something of the Abbey's past, adding that if it were possible, he would choose to see the night when a mob broke into the precincts in the 14th century during the Coatleford trouble. Suddenly, both men saw the latch being lifted, and the heavy door swung violently open right in their faces, and then as suddenly and inexplicably it slammed itself shut. This happened at 10 o'clock on a bright summer evening, and it was quite impossible for anyone to have come up the stairs and then get away without being seen. For the two puzzled men immediately searched the stairs and surrounding area very thoroughly. There was no wind, and in any case the wind couldn't have lifted the latch. Perhaps someone or something was annoyed at what Derek Seymour had said just a moment before. Now, the so-called Spanish Barn and surrounding park is reputedly haunted by the figure of a young Spanish girl. A figure that presumably has haunted the place for nearly 400 years. It's thought that no less than 397 prisoners were crammed into the barn after the capture of the Armada ship, and disease and death soon wiped out most of them, but at least one still walks where all her dreams and desires came to naught. Before the great Armada sailed from Spain, the story goes that a young nobleman in the king's army fell in love with a pretty Spanish girl, and in their warm and romantic country the love affair prospered and blossomed, and the future seemed rosy until the Spanish fleet was ready to sail. Then the young Marquis was assigned to the ship Nuestra Senora del Rosario, and in youthful agony the lovers realized they would soon have to part. Or could they find a way to remain together? They talked it over and eventually decided on a desperate plan. The girl would dress as a page and so be able to accompany her lover on his voyage. The whole of Spain was confident of a quick and easy victory over the lazy English, and the couple dreamed of the time when they would settle in some looted English manor house, given to the Marquis for the services he would render his country, and there the lovers would live happily ever after. But it was not to be. The Armada was defeated, the Nuestra Senora del Rosario was captured, and the whole crew, including the Marquis and his page, were thrown into the ancient barn. There, in appalling conditions, the young Spanish girl was almost the first to die, and the only consolation she was allowed, if we are to believe the story that has been handed down over the years, is that she received the last rites from a priest of her own religion who lived in the abbey nearby. But even so, she could not rest, it seems, and her form has often been seen drifting sadly through the park on the Torquay seafront in the direction of the Spanish Barn, where she was with her beloved for her last few agonizing hours of life. Prosaic motorists driving along the King's Drive late at night are said to have seen her, especially when there is a moon, and since there are no reports of her lover joining her, perhaps it is only her shade that lingers in the area where she died, and her spirit has been reunited with that of her lover in another sphere. And that's the end of that bit. Yeah, Torquay is very haunted, and the environs are very haunted. There's a town not far from where I was born called Berry Pomeroy. There's a castle there that's reported to be the most haunted castle in all of Britain, which is saying something.
But it has a pleasant sounding name.
Oh yeah, Berry Pomeroy. It sounds like a fragrance or something.
Oh, you're the best. 1122 says you two make a good couple. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. We've known each other a very, very long time. I met him when I was 19. So
I trained
half
her.
my life.
I taught her how to run a projector back when there were such things as canisters of film.
Yeah.
But yeah, and yeah.
And I'm Mart 164 says thanks for doing this, you guys. So
What did Marnie just say?
our pleasure.
Marnie said
Marty
something.
says, yeah, my husband thanks you for this live stream. Otherwise, he'd be forced to watch Hocus Pocus and Trick or Treat again. Hocus Pocus is so good, though. Why wouldn't he want to watch Hocus Pocus repetitively? That is a great movie.
Who's in that one?
That's got Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker and... Oh, God!
Oh, is that the one with Jack Nicholson?
No, that's the Witches of Eastwick you're thinking.
Oh, that's okay. All right,
Yeah.
we'll have to watch Hocus Pocus then.
Yeah, no, it's a great movie. It's a good
Hang
one.
on, I thought we'd have watched it.
That's right.
Kathy Najimy.
That's right. Thank you.
That does. Oh, Peggy Hill.
Oh, yeah. I was just watching some King of the Hill stuff earlier today.
Dang old Peggy Hill, man. I'll tell you what, dang old crazy, man.
That show is so wholesome. I like wholesome stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice once in a while.
Very good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Right. So.
So I think
okay.
I'd like to give us a little recap of
Okay.
all the decisions that we've made today, important decisions that we've made. Then we've got a little bit of karaoke that we're gonna do.
All right, we'll give that a try.
Yeah.
See if we don't destroy everything with a feedback loop, we'll give it a go.
Right. But we'll have to keep the music part of it kind of low because I don't want this to get dinged for copyright necessarily. I mean, if it does, it does. Whatever.
But
we
it's free karaoke.
Yeah, we want to do
stuff.
Monster Mash. But here is what we have decided. We have decided that Freddy is scarier than Jason. Alien is more intimidating than the Predator. Maleficent is way more of a baddie than Jafar. Zombies are scarier than vampires. Willow is scarier than either Angel or Spike. Morticia is cooler than Lily, though Lily is still cool. She's very wholesome, and her family, I think, is a little bit safer to be around. So if I had to choose...
Apart from Grandpa and Spike.
I might prefer to hang out with the monsters personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Morticia's cooler,
Yeah.
but Lily was supposed to look like Morticia and then had to change.
Mhm.
So Lily is more versatile than Morticia.
Mm.
So I don't know. I kind of like Lily Munster. Let's see. But Gomez kind of does seal the deal a little bit and make me go a little bit more Morticia because that package is really, it's delightful. They're sexy and wholesome, and violent.
Yeah.
But wholesome.
We're like that off screen.
Without the violent part, no.
Well, not towards each other,
No.
but
I violently.
I definitely have to do the John Aston eyes.
It's basically the same look he makes when he does his Boris Karloff. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and this is when I made that. This is what my keyboard looks like. It's an absolute disaster. All that acrylic pounding on it.
Alrighty. So we're doing this then, are we?
Yeah. I want them to see your Boris Karloff.
The Boris Karloff face.
Yeah.
Absolutely
And I'll
splendid.
just be
right.
his doo-wop girl in the background.
All right, let's see, where
This
is
thing makes
this?
a fun swishy sound.
All right. Monster Mash. Don't know if you can hear it or not, but we'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the
mash.
He did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
He did the mash. Easiest lines ever.
Caught on in a flash.
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt. from my electrodes.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rockin', all were digging the sounds. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker Five.
They did the mash.
They played the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
The monster mash.
They played the monster mash. Out from the coffin, Drac's voice did ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. He opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?"
It's the mash.
It's now the monster
The
mash,
monster mash.
and it's a graveyard smash.
It's now the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
It's now the mash.
It's now the monster mash. Now everything's cool. Drac's a part of the band, and my monster mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell 'em Boris sent you.
Then you can mash.
Then you can monster mash
The monster mash.
and do my graveyard smash.
Then you can mash.
You'll catch on in a flash.
Then you can mash.
Then you can monster mash. Mash good! Easy, Igor, you impetuous young boy. Mash good! Ah! Mash good.
Yay!
Time Warp as an encore? No, I can't sing.
Oh, that one's so fun though!
I know it's so fun, but again, dinged for copyright and...
fantasy freebie! So you can't see me. No, not at all.
If I were to properly attempt to sing, I would need to ask for money.
No, and I'm intoxicated enough that I would actually try to sing that thing on top where they...
No, I would need reimbursement. Round about 98 pounds, I would say.
Yeah, he didn't like the movie, and then
You see, the thing is, when I tried watching it before, I tried watching it alone, late at night with no one else around to enjoy it with me, and then Heather insisted we watch it, so I watched it with her, and found out it was about a bunch of British freaks making people in Ohio uncomfortable, and that's
Yes!
basically my life, my childhood there, so.
yeah, did you know that whole dang movie is going on in Ohio? It's in Ohio.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't like rock? Well, I do now, Barbara. I do now,
Yes.
because I watched it with someone who's familiar with it.
Yeah, I sold him on it because I was trying to work on him to see if he would watch it again. Because I was like, no, you have to like this movie. And so, essentially, I asked him why he didn't like it, and then I explained to him. I was like, you do understand that this is about a whole bunch of weird British perverts who basically go to rural Ohio and ensnare a couple and, basically make them corrupt, like that it's British people coming to corrupt the innocent folk of Ohio. And
The uptight people of Ohio.
and since we both grew up in Ohio,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
And I'm a British pervert.
I think that is redundant, honey. I think I've seen your television shows. Every single
They're not my television
No,
shows. I didn't
guys.
create them.
Okay, I think a great example of this is the difference between the British RuPaul's Drag Race and the American version, because the American version is kind of vanilla compared to the British version. They push it so much farther. So Again, I stand by my statements. I've seen Monty Python.
Oh, well, Monty Python is just amazing.
Oh.
Woo! Hello, Mrs. Gorilla. Hello, Mrs. Non-Gorilla. Been shopping? Ah, been shopping. What'd you buy then? A piston engine. A piston engine? What do you want one of them for? Well, it was a bargain. Woo! How'd you cook it then? You don't cook a piston engine!
Okay. Sorry, I had to do that. Whenever Monty Python is discussed, mandatory pepper pot impressions must be done. Do you have any more poll questions to ask anyone?
Oh, no, we're all done. Yeah, I think, the consensus was Edward Scissorhands is the best Johnny Depp role. The Reese's Cups are basically the best of the Halloween candy varieties. And that Raul Julia is the favorite Gomez. So.
Tammy loves your laugh, and that next one just disappeared on me. I was trying to read it.
It says.
I used to keep an X-Parrot in my desk at work. I've got an X-Parrot, surprisingly enough. It's inflatable.
Yeah. Oh God. We both found out that we had copies of Monty Python Sings, like independently of one another, and so we all know those songs. When I was back in high school, I was a supreme geek. Big shocker, I know, but I was in like
the devil. I
know. I was in speech and debate and a bunch of choirs and theater and all that jazz. At every speech tournament, while we were waiting for our ballots to come in so we could get our results and see who would place, I would basically sing different variations of different Monty Python songs because they're funny. And because I don't know, I just thought it was something everyone could understand. Yeah. Plus, I was a teenager and I got a big kick out of Every Sperm is Sacred in particular, so yeah.
Oh, yes. Anywho, right, where were we here? What were we doing
Sheila.
next? Sheila's on?
Yeah, she says it's nice to spend a happy Halloween with us.
Ah, thank you, Sheila.
Yes.
Excellent.
And then Liz says that we were a whole cast. I think that's the theater background.
Yes.
Yeah. So speaking of which, I thought that before we wrap things up, that maybe the Raven would be the thing.
The Raven. That sound good? Thumbs up. Yes, The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
I pulled it up on my phone.
Excellent.
So, let me grab this.
What movie scared the pants off you?
Oh, that's a great question.
Okay. Good. What movie scared the pants off me? Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas. That look he gives as the creepy uncle in slow motion, nodding and smiling.
No, it's entirely too slow-mo. Like, anytime I play one of my clips where I'm in slow-mo, I have to comment about how creepy I'm moving because it's like... But the thing is, with this Kirk Cameron movie, it's like... I mean, it's creepy because it's like a super close-up. I'm sorry about that, you guys, but no, it's like a super close-up of his face, and it's not so much slow.
It's not so much a smile as a leer.
It's just because of how slow it goes.
Yeah.
It's like. Like that. Yeah.
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 No, in all seriousness though, I think the movie that creeped me out the most, that shocked me more than anything, was Alien Resurrection. Surprisingly enough.
That's a good one.
That creeped the hell out of me simply because of the weird stuff they did with the genetic experiments. It just weirded me out. It made me, I can watch, horrific alien larvae burst out of chests all day and then eat brains and grow to enormous sizes and then infect people with parasites, till the cows come home. But something about Alien Resurrection just creeped me the heck out.
For me, it's Silence of the Lambs. I think Silence of the Lambs is really creepy because I tend to like realism more than fantasy. I guess it depends on the property though, but usually that tends to be where I lean. And that
Yeah. We had
my brain just like short circuited.
Yeah. So did mine. What were we talking about?
This is why I should not do 2 live streams a day because my brain turns to mush.
But someone voted for Nosferatu, and all I can say to that.
The Exorcist is scary.
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying about Silence of the Lambs.
Silence
Serial
of the
killers
Lambs.
are frightening.
Yes.
Serial killers are frightening. I may not be scared of like fake monsters that much, but serial killers are terrifying. So and you know you get 2 of them in that movie.
Do you still hear the lambs screaming, Clarice? But we had got some great votes here. But someone mentioned Nosferatu. Have you ever seen the movie Shadow of the Vampire about the making of Nosferatu? That's a fun film to watch if you haven't seen
Dafoe
it.
is so good.
This script girl, I'll eat her later. Yes, I'm a serial killer geek.
Oh, same here. Same here. Like I've always been really fascinated with that stuff. Like I was really into that I'll Be Gone in the Dark that they did on HBO talking about the Golden State Killer. That was fascinating. That was really fascinating, and I'm glad they got that guy, because that's just awful. Yeah, those things scare me.
Psycho, haven't showered since.
That is also still legit scary too.
Oh, yeah,
scene
definitely.
and all the tension built into it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what's coming, and it's still scary. That's how good that scene is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that whole movie is creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, Eddie Izzard was in the Shadow of the Vampire.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Omen, evil kids movies scare me. Exorcist. How about Children of the Corn? Is that one of them, Liz?
There are so many movies that have the theme that children are terrifying.
Village of the Damned. Yes, the Midditch Cuckoos. Sorry, had to do it.
Oh yeah.
I would make a bad pod person.
Yeah, don't wreck your voice right before you're about to do an epic poem.
The Shining.
The Shining is
Cake or death. Tea and cake or death.
Tea and cake or death. Little red cookbook.
Shall we then?
Yes, let's.
Dun, dun, dun. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once, upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this and nothing more." Distinctly I remember. It was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore?" This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more. Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be short and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. And then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by a reply so aptly spoken, Doubtless, said I, what it utters is only its stock and store, caught from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of nevermore. But the raven, still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking Nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamp's light gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamp light gloating o'er she shall press. Nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch! I cried, thy God hath lent thee. Ugh. By these angels he hath sent thee, respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me, truly, I implore, is there, balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by the God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if, within the distant Aidenn, it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul has spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, and quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. Okay, done.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you. I like reading that.
Yeah, that was very good. Oh, Sheila says, well done.
Thank
She
you.
said, such old souls who love classic retro art literature. This is the nicest Halloween I've had in years to share it with you. I have not heard this whole poem since high school. Oh, yay! We're so glad, Sheila.
Yes,
we're,
excellent.
We're so glad we could hang out with you and that you're enjoying this.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
much appreciated.
we love retro stuff.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, in fact, even when it comes to Halloween stuff, my favorite stuff is some of that old stuff, like Nosferatu and, you know, the Bela Lugosi Dracula and the Universal monsters in general, Creature from the Black Lagoon. I also like a lot of really campy Vincent Price movies, like the cheesier the better. I also like a lot of Italian horror movies, like Suspiria, where the blood is so red that it's essentially like, I don't know. It looks ridiculous. And I think that keeps it from being gruesome. It's just like, wow, that's really vibrant. And that should not be like that.
Move over Orson Welles. The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Spaghetti sauce. Yes.
Yes, it does. It looks like that.
Speaking of which, we watched again, trying to think of names. They go instantly out of my head as soon as I have to say them. House of Wax. Yes, that's Vincent Price. But what's the other
that
one?
movie, and that one's got. Is that Anne Baxter that's in that one?
It's been a long time since I've
It's
seen that one.
Nefertiti. Whoever plays Nefertiti in the Ten Commandments. That's,
Yeah.
And she plays one of the wax ladies.
Ah.
She plays Marie Antoinette, and she looks beautiful.
I remember.
She's just beautiful, though. That's why.
We watched The Abominable Dr. Phibes
Yes.
last week. And then we watched the sequel, which is not recommended.
No, the sequel is like a fever dream. It makes no sense at all. It's like it's almost like Dadaism. It's so random.
Thank you, Barbara. But oh yes, yeah, that the Abominable Dr. Phibes was interesting, but whatever happened to Baby Jane? We watched that one
Yes.
recently. That was bloody good.
I introduced him to that one.
I've never seen that before. That was bloody
movie
good.
is phenomenal. Oh, I love Betty Davis. I love Betty Davis basically any way you can give me Betty Davis. And Joan Crawford's pretty awesome too. I mean, but the two of them together with the history that they had and everything. Though I heard that they got along very well on set, that they were both professional and they really just didn't talk to each other most of the time. But yeah. But that, oh no! Oh no, I lost my happy flag!
Happy flag.
Back to the Eddie Izzard reference.
Do you like Alfred Hitchcock? I've never met the gentleman, but I've enjoyed some of his work. I'll tell you what, if you can find it online, they used to have an Alfred Hitchcock half-hour anthology program on Nick at Night.
What?
That should tell you how old it was. But yeah, this half-hour Hitchcock thing on Nick at Night, and he did the most amazing description of baseball. And I won't even attempt to replicate it because I don't remember it very well, and if I tried to replicate it, it would just not do it justice. Alfred Hitchcock Presents. That's it. Yes, thank you, Barbara. But Halloween is an excellent holiday. Yes, we do love that. But those Alfred Hitchcock shows, he described baseball in such a way that had me falling off my chair laughing. Alice, Sweet Alice in 1976. I have not seen that.
Oh, we must put that on the list of things to watch now.
All right, yeah. Thank you for that comment. That's going to stick around so we can refer to it later.
Yeah,
Excellent.
We've been trying to watch a scary movie every night in October in the lead up to this. So we might need to catch up a little bit for a couple nights where we didn't. So.
And of course, they mentioned the original Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Picture, if you will, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. Good stuff. The Crawling Eye. Oh, okay. Who's into MST3K? Who likes Mystery Science Theater 3000? Yes. The Crawling Eye was, I think, the first episode they ever did. Yes. Salem's Lot. Heard about it. Haven't seen it.
Did you read it?
I read Stephen King short story called Jerusalem's Lot. Yes. But I've not seen it. Phantasm. Again, I haven't seen that.
Oh, that's a creepy one. Yeah.
That's got that tall guy with the spheres.
Yes.
Okay, right. Rosemary's Baby. I think we
that's
had
a
that.
creepy
That
one too.
that was on the list
I really like that one.
to get back to.
That one's very creepy because of the build up. Yeah. I feel very bad. Feel very bad for her at the end of it. No spoilers though, even though I think it's probably been enough time that, it's not really a spoiler anymore.
Yeah,
yet, but...
yeah. Those flying balls in Phantasm. Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know why. When I was a little kid, because I couldn't watch either movie, I always used to get Hellraiser and Phantasm mixed up. Like, for some reason, I always saw, like, Pinhead as being in the Phantasm universe.
Well, creepy pale guys with geometric shapes that kill you. So.
Or just like, the people from Phantasm hanging out with the Cenobites. I don't know how that would work, but
yeah. And Puppet Master.
Puppet Master.
I used to watch a few Puppet Master films. It's been a long time and I haven't seen them on TV, so they're kind of blending together in my memory at the moment. But yeah. But Nightmare on Elm Street. Love the Nightmare on Elm Street films.
Well, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark, and I think we're
bloody hellfire.
Yeah, I think we're about ready to go.
We're past the 2-hour mark.
Have some dinner at this point.
Yeah, we should probably have some dinner. But
yeah, yes. But it's been a hoot hanging out with you guys. Oh, hi, John. The crossover would have summarized the things my dad accidentally let me watch that Mom never heard about.
Psychological horror more than graphic stuff. Yeah, that's also good.
But thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us.
Thanks.
This has been a blast times 2.
Yes. Absolutely a blast. Absolutely a hoot. Had a great time. Thank you for indulging me
it's been
in my theatrics.
You do a beautiful job.
And, well, hope we can do this again next year.
Yeah, no. Heck, I'd like to do it more than just, like, waiting for it to come around till next year. I mean, there are all kinds of things we could read if people like hearing you read to them. I like it.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll let them let us know.
Excellent. Okay, in the comments section, just make some comments about what you'd like to see or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
if you want more Nigel reading stuff, let us know, because I know.
Nigel needs a channel. I've got a channel, actually, Marnie. I haven't got anything on it, though.
Yeah.
I haven't got anything on it, but someday, perhaps. I just did that. I just mainly signed up so I could interact with other people on YouTube, but someday I hope to have some content, and we'll let you know when that happens.
Yes.
Anyway,
all right.
Right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.